You have been heard. Last day or two, I put some community polls out to see what you guys would like to see, and you have spoken. Today, we're going to be doing the most requested video, and that is P.U.N.K Witchcrafter. Welcome. I'm going to be your host, Chum Sam, and today we're going to be doing a 20-minute testing on P.U.N.K Witchcrafter. I showed this P.U.N.K Witchcrafter deck off in a video, 2 videos ago, where I did all the different P.U.N.K archetypes, and this was one of my personal favorites, so I decided, hey, it would be cool if I made a full-on 10-minute, 20-minute testing. Oh my gosh. Man, I'm ripping off MBT so much, I think I am him. But, as I do a full 20-minute testing, and I asked you guys what you would like, and most of you guys said this, a P.U.N.K Witchcrafter 20-minute testing. It was closely followed by a concept of taking a really bad deck and trying to make it playable. And I'll just say this, I'm cooking up something for that as well. That video just takes a lot longer because I have to actually use my brain a lot more. But without further ado, here is P.U.N.K Witchcrafter. So, to start off, probably know what the P.U.N.Ks do, of course. We have 2 Ogre Dance and 2 Foxy Tune, 3 Xiamen, a Madame Spider, a Wagon, and a Sharakusai. We also have 1 Extreme Session, 1 Dangerous Goblin, and for the effect we have 1 Rising Carpet, 1 Amazing Dragon, and 1 Jam. Honestly, if you want to, you could cut this Warlord Savage in the effect for a Psychic Endcatcher, another copy of one of the P.U.N.Ks, because in all my games, Warlord Savage did not come up. Now, with like the P.U.N.K engine out of the way, let's talk about what Witchcrafters do and what the goal of the deck is. So Witchcrafters were a deck released in Infinity Chasers, I believe, alongside Infinitrax and Evil Eye. And they're kind of interesting. Their whole focus is about discarding spell cards to summon out their big boss monsters, and these boss monsters interact with your opponent and interrupt them, and at the end of the turn, all their spell cards return themselves to the hand if you haven't used their effect. So this whole idea of the deck is you use all the little ones, all the little level 4 little Witchcrafters, which they can quick effect tribute themselves and discard a spell card to summon one of the big Witchcrafters from the deck, or any Witchcrafter. So you tribute it, discard a spell, summon any Witchcrafter from the deck, and then during the end of the turn, you recycle back a lot of those Witchcrafter spell cards. That's the main focus of the deck. Now I'll talk about all the cards and how they work in particular, and talk about why I'm running Summoner Monk and Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous. So, first we'll start off with the low-level Witchcrafters. We're going to start off actually up here with Shkameta. They all have the same effect where during the main phase curve, so tribute this card, discard a spell, special Witchcrafter from deck. But this one has the effect where you can banish it from the graveyard to Foolish Burial a Witchcrafter card from deck. So, this is one of the main pieces. There's a reason that I run 3. It starts stuff, and the Foolish is super strong. We have the other one I play 3 of, Genie. Same normal effect to summon, and then its graveyard effect is that you can banish it and a Witchcrafter spell, and this effect becomes that spell's effect. So, it's mostly just copy what the spell does, and that's pretty good. It does get rid of one of your resources there, which is unfortunate, but a lot of the time it's worth it. And finally, you play 1 of Pottery, same normal effect, and then its graveyard effect is you can banish this card from the graveyard, target a Witchcrafter card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Pretty good. Recycles resources when, as I said, you can only add these back to hand if you haven't used their effect. This way you can just add it back to hand and use its effect, so pretty solid. Now we're gonna go on to the main deck big ones. We're starting off with Witchcrafter Command. Your opponent cannot target other spellcaster monsters you control with effects. So targeting protection, pretty good for other spellcaster monsters. As a quick effect, discard a spell, try to face up card your opponent controls, destroy it. Pretty solid, I would say. Just having a free pop. Not too bad. Now we have Witchcrafter Madame there. If you played Duel Links while Witchcrafter was meta, this card will probably give you PTSD. So, during damage calc, if a spellcaster monster battles an opponent's monster quick effect, you can reveal any number of spells with different names in your hand, and if you do, your battling monster gains 1,000 attack and defense for each card revealed until the end of the turn. So that is a silly battle trick. Of course, it won't come up much in TCG games, but back in Duel Links, that was a really nasty card and was very frustrating to deal with because you could just reveal like 3 of them and maybe swing in for lethal. It was a scary card. But this is the second effect is what makes it actually playable. Quick effect: discard a spell, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of the turn. So, quick effect, skill drain. Negate. Just it's Imperm on drugs. That's what it is. Imperm on drugs. Pretty good card. One of the reasons that this deck is at all playable is because you can know this. Now, Gallaroo, I was not playing this in the original deck because I'm mostly copy and pasting from another person. But Gallaroo is a really fun card, and it gives you good protection. So it says when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a spellcaster monster you control, or targets it for attack, quick effect can target one card your opponent controls or one Witchcrafter spell in your graveyard. Special summon this card from the hand, and if you do, return the targeted card to the hand. You can only use this effect of Gallaroo once per turn, and during the standby phase, you can turn this. No, you can. It says return this card to the hand. So it is. If you get targeted or something, you can. It's a free bounce or a recycling of a spell. Well, this is a good card just to search that you can have in your hand because, if your opponent does anything to hurt your board, summon a Ruru, bounce one of their cards, recycle one of your own Witchcrafter spells, something like that. Pretty good, I would say. And with that, I'll get on to the spell and traps. Buy Street is the worst one. You could totally cut it to get down to a 44 card. Or to get down to 40 cards. First time Witchcrafter monster you control would be destroyed each turn by battle or card effect. It is not. And here are its 2 effects. Witchcrafter you control would discard to activate effect when you send this card from your graveyard, from your field to the graveyard and sand. During the end phase, if you control a Witchcrafter monster while this card is in your graveyard, placing a face up in your spell traps. And you can only use one coming effects per turn. You can only watch that turn. So, it gives some protection and can use itself on the field as material for Witchcraft effects. Mainly here for the protection, because sometimes that can come up. But this is the worst one between the play you can. Holiday, target a Witchcrafter monster from your graveyard, special summon it during the end phase. If you control a Witchcrafter monster while this card in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use one effect of Holiday per turn and only once that turn. All of them have you can only use this effect, one effect per turn and only once that turn. So I'll just say that. But other than that, it is a Monster Reborn. Witchcraft Creation is a Rhoda and has the same end phase effect and the same super hard monster. Confusion Confession is the fusion spell using monsters from your hand or field and has the same effect of all the other ones, the super hard ones. So that's the main deck. Witchcrafters. I'll quickly talk about the one extra deck one. Vice Madame. Whenever a spell or non-fusion spellcaster monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can activate one of these effects. You can only use each effect once per turn. So if you're lucky, or if you are able to build around it, you can trigger all these effects in turn. 1, destroy a card in the field. 2nd, special summon a level 6 or lower Witchcrafter from deck. And 3rd, add 1 Witchcrafter spell or trap from the graveyard to your hand. All very solid effects. This card is nutty. The whole plan of this deck right here is to get Vice Madame out and try to trigger all of her effects as much as possible. Now, how are we doing that? We have the Fusion Summon, or the Fusion Spell, to get Vice Madame out, but this card needs a Witchcraft monster and Spellcaster monster, where we can get some Spellcasters, because Zealman is not a Spellcaster. That's where Summoner Monk and Cartesia come in. Blazing Cartesia can fusion summon a level 8 or higher fusion monster from your deck using monsters in your hand or field as material, and it's a spellcaster. So, you can use Blazing Cartesia to make Vice Manam. That's one plan of the deck. Summoner Monk, you can discard spells for some level 4 or lower monsters from your deck that cannot attack this turn. You can summon Blazing Cartesia, or you can summon out one of your Witchcrafters. So, that sounds all nice and all, but how are we getting a Summoner Monk or Blazing Cartesia without using our normal summon? Because we're probably going to be using that on Xiamen. That's where Zombie Vampire comes in, and the Kelbeck and Agitos. We want to use Zombie Vampire to mill, to bring back either Cartesia or Monk to extend into our plays. Simple as that. If you don't know what a Zombie Vampire is, this effect is detach the material. Each player mills the top 4 cards from the deck to the graveyard, and if any monsters were sent, that you can special summon one of those monsters to your field. So it's a mill 4. Pretty good. Pretty good. So, with that in mind, that's how the deck is supposed to work. Let's get into the games. Game 1, or not game 1, sorry. First game, we are going against... I should explain. But, we have a pretty good opener, so let's go. I'd also like to notify, while playing this game, my opponent had Chain on the entire time. It was very frustrating. Alright, we normal summon Xiamen, activate the effect, add the Foxy Tune. We're going to actually activate the effect of Doom, now reveal the Foxy Tune, send, now Dragon Drive, and Foxy Tune. Xiamen is going to Chain Block. And send back the Foxy Tune, Gem Drive is going to add a Madame Spider. Can't do really anything with this, but now we're going to mill. Hopefully we got something good, and... Ooh, that is good. Ugh, that isn't good. Alright, we summon back the Shkameta, we activate the fusion, we just go into Vice Madam, we use Shkameta to send, and we chain Vice Madam to summon Genie, and then we do some more shuffling, Genie to summon out Vice Madam, and then we pass here, Holiday comes back to hand. We really are kind of banking on them, using their own spells, because we could add back the creation, or the fusion. So, cross our fingers. We do have the Golem. Granted opening. Interesting. We summon a Witchcrafter. Summon from deck. And then normal summon a Lubra de Boober. I chain Pottery and Vice Madam. We summon out the Hane. Branded Fusion effect. Activate Lubalian. No, we're not having that. Oh, you just got a skill. Okay, I'm glad that I got that out of their hand. Pass the turn. Outland. Send Conquistador. We make Zombie World. Pass turn. This isn't that bad. I'm gonna Shkameta. I'm gonna send By Street. Can't use Chain the effect of Vice Madam because Zombie World is active. Xiamen effect. Oh. I made a misplay here. I'm not sure if this actually mattered, but I should have summoned the Ogre Dance in attack because I could have beaten over the Lubellion. Go for stuff. I wanted to see, hey, if I summon the Appaloosa, the goddess, does the effect actually work where I get the 1300 attack? Answer, no. And then, in kind of rage and frustration, I concede because they have all the setup they need for doing Eldritch stuff in their grave. That's why I cry inside and concede. But, let's see what happens when we don't get skill drained. Next game, we're playing against another, zombie pile. Going second zombie pile? What is with zombies and today? But our hand is Rizalicious. We're going to normal summon the Xiamen effect. Going to add the Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune effect, send the Summoner Monk to get the Sharakusai. Sharakusai effect to fusion into Rising Carp. Rising Carp, we're going to summon out Deerno and Wagon. Wagon going to add the field spell. Yes, sir. Then we're going to Synchro into the Synchro, Jam Drive, and then summon back the Rising Carp. Then we get to add a Madame Spider. We're going to summon out the first draw card, then summon out the Madame Spider. Pay the 600 to get the trap. Draw one more time, and isn't this nice? How many cards? Then we are going to Zombie Vampire Mill. Interesting those from our side, but their side, but we get a Shkameta. Now we are going to Confusion Confession. Now there's a little misplay I did here. I should have sent the Madame there so I can holiday get back. But this is a we do oopsie, we tag into pottery, and a hand. Meta, add it back, the confession floor uses select Genie to get the dog Ruru. We make a Celine effect to summon out the Madame Bear from hand, so we still got the Madame Bear out. Then holiday effect and creation effect, pass turn. This is a nutty board with a bunch on the crackback. So let's see what happens. Set the Waking Dragon, and it goes to the Squirrel of my Passion Story. Activate Harpy's Feather Duster. It doesn't matter. They chain Necro World eventually. Okie dokie. Nothing really happens. I chain because they destroyed. I get 2 Trigger Jam Drive and hang to pop the leaves off the world. And these guys can't do anything in hand, so I just decide I don't want to mess with what they have, which is really nice. So we go into battle and attack for lethal. Oh, that's what the deck can do. Going first. Now, and you also saw what happened when the deck goes first. Enough. Let's see what happens in a best of 3 against Meta. Alrighty, game 1. We are going first against Dark World Danger. Pretty interesting matchup. We have an interest in it, so we'll see how that goes. I do some misplays here, but it's fine. Sharkusai to make Rising Carp to summon Deerno and Wagon. You've seen this play many times before. Wagon at Extreme Sesh. Make Jam Drive. Deerno bring back Rising Carp. Extreme Session is going to draw a card. I do a misplay here where I should make Madame Spider before I do Zombie Vampire Mail, but it is okay. What do we mill? Ooh, Summoner Monks, but don't have a single spell in hand. That is a issue. So we are actually going to summon back the Fox team. That's going to actually be able to summon Regito. We're going to make Dark. We're going to summon back the Zephyros. Summon out the Madame Spider. Pay to add Gabu. Can we hit a spell? No, we hit a Genie. Alright, we're going to make 4 Mad Appaloosa plus Dangerous Gabu Pass. Bigfoot. Whiff. Kind of. Nessie. Kind of whiff. Then we are going to Zephyros back. I'd say that's fine. They pitch a Tsukinoko here, and I say nope. And they go Ogopogo. Okay. Muffman. Brow, I decide to Ash Renegade this, and due to the fact that I have lost life points, this is actually lethal. Alrighty. Let's go. We're in game 2. We did some siding, and what I mean by siding is exactly draw and block. So, to see what happens, I'd like to say this replay is called I Hate My Life. Alright, we are going to start off by normal summoning the Cartesia, making Vice Madame. We are going to summon out a Genie. We are going to Foolish a Creation. Activate Ogre Dance. We already have the Vice Madame, so we're doing this combo just kind of for kicks and giggles. Sharkusai, we're going to make Rising Carp. Whoa, have you seen this play before? Some Wagon and Deerno. Wagon. Add Extreme Session. We can return the creation to hand. Let's go. Genie to tag into a Hane. Now, I do a misplay here. I could have just summoned back the Sharkusai so I can go into the Amazing Dragon on my opponent's turn, but my brain went into auto mode and just summoned back the Rising Carp, which is honestly fairly bad against Dark World, but should be fine. We summoned out the Madame Spider, and this time the Madame Spider has us gain life. Zombie Vampire, Mill. Creation, and Golem Marur. A set card, pass here. This once again may not look like the best board, but it's pretty certain. The one issue is that I believe, yes, the Vice Madame is in, or the Madame Bear is in our graveyard, so that's gonna be plus we get the Holiday, we get that back. Ooh, this is feeling nice. They draw a card, they activate that. I'm gonna say no to your Gates of the Dark World. I had the draw, I had everything, it was so perfect, but no! Why do they still have this when they know that they're gonna go second? I don't know. So they have used some effects, they do some shuffling with the Dark World cards. I'm not going to fully read. Hane pop another Gaze, and then we are going to return the creation. Here's a funny thing. Witchcrafters have no way to deal with spell and traps without using the monsters. So they're going to pop the back row. I'm going to actually gain 3,000 life points, back up to higher than normal. Rafa pop zombie vampire. They're going to fuse Madame there. We're going to do a lot of tagging in and tagging out to make Grapha. They go to battle phase. They have a bunch of big beaters. Boom, boom, boom. Nightmare Phoenix to pop that. Then Cartesia. I maybe shouldn't have done this, but they discard that. They're going to bring back the Gem Drive. Probably wouldn't have changed anything because this stupid card! I activate E-Telly. I'm like, I can do a lot of plays from this position. I have the Hane. I have a Cartesia in hand. This feels good because I also have Pottery engraved. I have Jenny engraved. I have Shkameta engraved. I have them all. Yeah. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I think very soon I'm going to play against friends who I know won't play Skill Drain. But with that frustrating game, let's get into it. Well, we're back in the deck review, and hey, from the 3 games, it 2 times pulled off the combo and said Vice Madame, and the other time could have gotten Vice Madame, but I was not smart and didn't realize that it went for a format. I believe it's a pass. So, pros and cons. First pro is, even though it doesn't look super consistent, it actually is fairly consistent with the fact that Cartesia, Monk, Confession, all of these kind of get you to the same place, as well as you have the ability to draw 2 cards with Jam Session and Zombie Vampire. The deck can get Vice Madame out nearly every single game. 2, Vice Madame is just a broken card. Pop and gains advantage. A lot of advantage. Like, a lot of advantage. And pro number 3 is that the Witchcrafters are really good, surprisingly. Like, I'd forgotten about them, like, push them out of my memory. But, like, reading these cards back, this version of the deck kind of fixes the problem with Witchcrafters, where you just normal summon Shkameta, activate the effect, and then you get Ash Blossom and you have to go in phase. Because that's what you could do. So, it fixes the big problem with Witchcrafter, where you just can't do anything. Where you just get Ash, can't do anything. Now, some of the cons, because, oh boy. 1, Skill Drain is hard to out. That's not really a con, but but still, I hate Skill Drain, ban this card, it's stupid. Okay. But does not have any good spell and trap removal that is not exactly Hane or Vice Madame. Secondly, though you can play the P.U.N.K engine, you really want to be running a critical mass of Witchcrafter cards. If you look, I'm missing a lot of cards. I'm not running Edel, I'm not running Pitore, I'm not running Collaboration, Draping, Unveiling, Scroll, Masterpiece, or Patronus. And a lot of these cards are good and add stuff, but due to the fact that I'm running the P.U.N.K engine, I can't. So, the other final con is that, even though this deck can consistently get up this stuff, sometimes it just doesn't do enough. Like, setting up like a pop, another pop, and like cracked infib. Sometimes that just isn't enough, and people can still OTK you and kill you. All around, this isn't a competitive version. It's not competitive. It's another fun take to locals Yippee-Ki-Yay deck that I genuinely had a lot of fun playing, and in time may get around to building it in person. If they want to make any changes, I would say instantly cut the Kelbeck and Agito. You don't need that. And maybe, just maybe, I know it's still 42 cards, dig into a more Witchcrafter focused variant where you play more of the Witchcrafter cards, because that was the one thing I was starting to see during the games, was I was just running out of good stuff to do sometimes. But with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Go going to be doing a making it playable video soon. It's just a very hard to make video, I would say, because I'm going to be playing a lot of different variants of this said deck, and I'm also going to put more editing into it. Like, these videos I'm mostly just doing like a take and I'm done. I can like I could, if I tried hard enough, pump out a 20-minute testing a day, but this other one's going to take a lot longer, so I hope you guys enjoy that once it comes out. And with that, I will see you on the next one.